That might be why Kurt's no longer with us. Maybe Kurt.
You can't make this up. That is wild. Talk about assumptions, assuming that, well, it's pretty obvious that he was probably trans. Oh, that might be why he's not here anymore. How does Lily have a platform at all? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I don't know if you've noticed, I'm sure that you have because it's everywhere. Rage bait. It's just no matter what you do, it's like you cannot avoid it. And it's something that wasn't really used as a tactic years ago, both in the past couple of years, especially on TikTok, but I would say on all the platforms. Rage bait is unavoidable. And the reason for that is because it works and people know it. Creators know that it works. But here's the thing, rage bait isn't a one size fits all approach. Some of it's just mildly annoying. And then there's a lot of cases that just cause a complete uproar on social media. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're going to be diving into the world of rage bait, the good, the bad, the downright unhinged. So many different types of rage bait. We're going to be breaking down a few of them though, and we're gonna be talking about a few different creators who have essentially built their platforms off of being a massive rage baiter. And then we're also going to be talking about the bigger question of, is rage bait really that big of a deal? Or should we just basically move on, keep on scrolling and move past it? So with that, let's get right into it. So this is definitely a new setup. If you're coming back from one of my other videos, I'm trying something different, so bear with me on that. But I wanted to show you that rage bait for sure is a spectrum, like I said, and some of it's just completely innocent. And I would say what I'm about to show you is where rage bait kind of started, not with this video, but with innocent things like what we're going to talk about today that really don't affect anybody, but it's going to essentially just evoke some type of reaction and get people talking. So let's watch the video real quick.
This is not okay.
Seema, don't tell me you're. Oh my god, did you just put the milk before the cereal? Yeah. She put the milk before the cereal.
So a pretty innocent thing, you know, cereal, whole, like, do you put the milk first, the cereal first? I'm definitely a cereal and then milk. I think that's most people, and that's why videos like this, they're harmless, they're fun. People being like, you're crazy, that kind of thing. That's all it really is. But people started to realize, I think, with these type of innocent videos that it got people talking. A video like that is going to be really low effort to make, but the engagement that's going to come along with it, because people are going to be saying, I do it this way, I do it that way, and going back and forth, it's going to really drive up the engagement. But as you know, rage bait goes it gets a lot more intense, and that's what we're going to be going through. We're not going to be talking about the innocent serial rage bait. We're going to be talking more about the stuff that really gets people's blood boiling, and your blood pressure might be going up a little bit more as the video goes on, and then it might step back a little bit and do something a little more lighthearted, but you're gonna see as the video goes on, it's a lot more than milk. So obviously, you know, cereal, people who purposely will misspell or mispronounce a word, all harmless things, right? But they know it's a way to drive up engagement. And other types of social media influencers realized that too, and they thought, you know what, I'm gonna try it out, and it works, and you're gonna see. And here's the thing, if you have thick enough skin, you can really master the art of rage baiting. For instance, people who do not mind their looks getting picked apart or anything like that, they do not mind putting it all out there. It works. So I'm gonna show you this clip. It definitely got people heated, and you'll see why.
I do not want to work for the rest of my life. Does it look like I want to get up at 6 a.m. every fucking day for the next 60 years? No, I'm too pretty for that.
Obviously, you know, putting something out there like that, saying, you know, I'm too pretty to do this type of job or too handsome to do this kind of job, it's gonna get people talking. They're gonna go and say things, you know, like, you're not as pretty as what you think, or what do you like, do you think that looks make it so that you can't work? People are gonna go back and forth, and this girl clearly does not care. In a way, it's smart. Again, like I said, if you have a thick enough skin, it's a great way to get engagement on your profile, to get your views up, to get more money, all the things. It's a great way, but you do have to have a thick enough skin, especially whenever you're talking about, you're putting out there something about your looks. Definitely an open invitation for people to just go and say whatever they want about your looks, and likely not nice things. This girl's name is Lucy Welsh, and whenever I was looking at her profile, this video is from a few years ago, and she definitely has continued to do rage bait types of videos. This is another one of her actually recent videos, and you can see she figured out a formula that works for her channel. She sits in her car, not for all of her videos, but sitting in her car saying something that she knows is gonna piss people off. Hey, go for it, I guess. us, but let's watch it.
Hear me out. Girls should be getting a paycheck every single month from the government for simply just existing. Why? Because we have way more essential things that we have to buy, and I don't think it's fair that we have to buy those with our own money. Also, we like to shop way more than men do, so it's only fair that we get a paycheck every month.
I figured I would bring up the comments on this just to show you the response that she got. So somebody said, translated, I'm broke, give me money. First, this person said, funniest thing I've heard today. This person said, again, simple terms, I am broke, I am single, give me money. She's saying wrong. This person, this is rage bait, that she is kidding, right? Some person agreed with her. And then here's another example of somebody basically putting out that they're too pretty for something, or, you know, pretty privilege. Again, kind of just putting something out there. You're inviting people who maybe don't think that you are, or maybe you're jealous or whatever, to go and essentially feel some type of emotion about what you put out there.
Long hair star, thick in the hips come.
Again, pretty harmless, I would say. I mean, I think it's just kind of like their sense of humor. I don't know. I don't think it's that funny, but I don't necessarily, wouldn't invoke any sort of rage out of me, but it's just another example of how, you know, with rage bait, it is a spectrum and it's going to affect everybody differently. When you're on the school run and can see all the dads getting told off by their wives for having a look, of course that's going to cause some rage bait for a lot of different reasons. But essentially, I think from what I read, I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that this woman does OnlyFans. I thought I was reading the comments because this was just a video screenshot. I couldn't actually find the original video of whoever this woman is. It was the creator doing reacting to the video, essentially asking about what people think about rage bait, and people were basically saying, you know, using the carpool line to promote your OnlyFans is a little bit, it's an interesting take. So it definitely provoked some rage. She knows what she's doing. And again, I saw a lot of videos just with my little bit of research today of women who dress very provocative, more so than her, and they're in the carpool line. They don't have to tell us that they're in the carpool line. That could be left out, but they know by putting, oh, I'm in the carpool line and I'm dressed a certain way, and the captions, all the things that they're talking about is going to invoke anger in a lot of people because they're doing it in their child's carpool line in front of the school. I think no matter how you feel about OnlyFans, it's kind of besides the point. I think this is more using a school in a way to promote your OnlyFans. And I can't say for sure that she does OnlyFans. That's just what I was reading. But there was another creator who was doing something very similar, but I would say worse. Her videos were worse, and she was definitely doing OnlyFans. And then there's the type of rage bait that it's somebody saying some type of opinion that to most people is just crazy. And this is one of them. I remember seeing this maybe even a year ago when it popped up, but it says unpopular opinion, but I think that being a barista is one, if not the hardest job out there. The constant movement, making coffees even when you don't want to, showing up after you got misgendered after you got misgendered the previous day, cleaning stuff you really don't want to, pay us more. And I'll play the video because somebody, I don't know what this is called, but somebody duetted the video. I'm not sure, but it's funny, so let's watch it.
When you had brain surgery, that must have been hard.
Hard? I used to be a barista.
That's funny. So I was a barista at Starbucks about 10 years ago. Fun fact, that's where I met my husband. So I feel like I can actually have an opinion here. This is a crazy opinion. This is a very crazy opinion that she's putting out there, and she had to have known that. Being a barista is not that hard, and when I was reading the comments, people were like, I'm a barista and it's not that hard, and I'm currently a barista, it's not that hard. I'm not saying it isn't hard and can't get stressful, but to go and make a TikTok that it's possibly one of the hardest jobs out there, this person knew that they were going to incite a reaction from people. And I can't even tell people to ignore this one because if I was on TikTok at the time, I probably would have been like, what are you talking about? This is absolutely insane. Yeah, a brain surgeon, a teacher, somebody working in hospice, a nurse. There are so many harder jobs out there. I don't know who this original creator is, and I'm not sure if their account is all rage bait or if they got some sort of following from this, or if they really do feel this way. And if they do, that's yikes. I don't think you're supposed to feel this way working at Starbucks, at least not on the daily. Okay, this one, for whatever reason, was not saved. So I'm just going right on TikTok to watch it. Whenever I was trying to find some of the worst rage baiters out there, this person kept coming up, Lily Tino. And I won't even go into all of Lily's other TikToks that are considered rage bait. Specifically, I wanted to talk about this one because I love Nirvana, and I thought that if there's any type of rage bait, in my opinion, that could be considered harmful, something like this, I feel like could. So let's get into it.
I bet you didn't know that Kurt Cobain was probably trans. Here's why. First off, Kurt wore a lot of women's clothing, and when
So you can see where this is going and why it might have made some people a little invoke some sort of emotion. And I think one of the big reasons is this is such a big statement to make about somebody who is no longer on this earth, sadly. Not to mention, Kurt has a daughter, he has family that's still alive, and to go and put this sort of narrative out there is just for clicks and views. It's just completely wrong.
asked about this, they replied that they wore dresses all the time.
Not to mention using pronouns that are they, them for Kurt whenever he never once said anything like that he was somebody who went by they, is crazy.
Because they felt comfortable and free. Just look at Kurt in these pictures. They look so happy. And in an interview about their childhood, Kurt said that they mostly hung out around girls and that at one point they thought they might be gay. Many trans people who don't...
Okay. This does not mean that Kurt was going to go by, that was going to use they, them pronouns or be a transgendered person. To go and put this out there, and I'm assuming Lily feels comfortable putting this out there because they are trans, that does not give you a free card or a free pass to go and make an assumption about somebody who's no longer alive.
don't have the vocabulary yet to express their gender identity will describe what they're feeling as being gay. That's exactly what I did in middle school.
Great, Lily, but that doesn't mean that was Kurt's story. My goodness, it's such an assumption, and in general, I don't think I'm the type of person to get super riled up about with rage bait, but just whenever you're talking about somebody who is not there to speak for themselves anymore and to go and try to rewrite history, it's gross. It's so gross.
Kurt is also quoted as saying that they identify more with the feminine than with the masculine. This is clear proof that Kurt did not...
Let me just make it clear. By gross, I just mean it's gross to go and try and make an assumption about somebody, no matter what that assumption is, whenever they're not here, all to make a viral video. That is the gross part, that Lily is trying to get some sort of social media clout, views, engagement off of a dead man's back. It's just wrong, and this video should have been taken down.
Identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. And the most convincing evidence that Kurt was trans was in an early version of Nirvana's All Apologies lyrics, where Kurt wrote, "Let me grow some." That is clear-cut gender dysphoria. And of course, Kurt will never be able to tell us themselves, but the evidence makes it pretty obvious they were trans. That might be why Kurt's no longer with us. Maybe Kurt...
You can't make this up. That is wild. Talk about assumptions, assuming that, well, it's pretty obvious that he was probably trans. Oh, that might be why he's not here anymore. How does Lily have a platform at all? And like I said, whenever I don't know much about Lily at all, but a lot of people were saying that Lily rage baits all of the time. And it's one thing to rage bait and about lighthearted things, but why bring somebody who's dead into the picture for your social media?
knew that we weren't ready.
Oh,
I bet you...
Kurt knew that we, as a society, were not ready. So yeah, if you go and look at the comments on this, it definitely got people stirred up. Person that said that last line is insane. Again, yeah, saying that maybe Kurt knew that we weren't ready. This person said, why the hell would you use they for him? It hurts like a knife when someone calls you sir. Oh yeah, that's right. Lily's the person that got mad at McDonald's whenever somebody said sir and made a video calling the person out in person. I do remember that. So it hurts like a knife when someone calls you sir, but you decide to push a new pronoun on a dead guy. Sick. Yes, it's completely sick. Again, so you cry when people assume your gender, but now it's okay to assume a dead man's gender. Now assume a dead man has gender dysphoria. Sort your head out. Exactly. You're sick in the head. Let him rest in peace. How silly of you to bring this up. Sorry if I missed a couple chapters, but I thought we weren't supposed to assume anyone's gender. Yeah, I thought this was 2025. We weren't supposed to be doing that, especially if you're somebody who has dealt with that yourself, then I would feel like you especially wouldn't be calling out and making such broad assumptions. You're unhinged. People just can't understand the grunge. Yes, Bottom line, people, come on. And that one might be a little bit more of a controversial one, but it had to be brought up because, like I said, huge spectrum with rage bait, but certain things should just not be allowed, and TikTok should have deleted that. TikTok loves to delete tons of different types of content. So why was that one allowed to be up? He does have a daughter who is in the public eye to a degree, not a ton, but I'm sure that she wouldn't want someone making such large, just massive, crazy assumptions about her deceased father. I know I wouldn't want that put out there, whether it's true or not, and I don't think it is true. I think this person's just crazy and just wanting to be a rage baiter, and they did succeed. Clearly, they got me a little bit upset. So there's a ton of rage bait that surrounds food, whether it's people wasting food, eating a ton of food, not eating enough food, and promoting some type of eating disorder, different things like that. And this type of stuff definitely gets people talking in the comment sections. It invokes all different types of emotions. One person who I had to talk about whenever doing this was Doherty Dozen, because I truly think, and I don't think that anybody probably thinks otherwise, that Alicia has grown her platform to the size that it is because of rage baiting. If she was not somebody that did rage baiting, I don't think she'd have a big channel at all or a big social media following. So we're gonna look at this one example. This is just one of many. I mean, she rage baits with tons of different things, but this is one that really, I remember, got people really talking and mad.
We surprised our son with a spaghetti table for his birthday. 20 pounds of spaghetti.
Ugh. Let's go back a little bit, because the bare hand, well, first off, the table. Having it all put on a table. It's one thing to have maybe like a big charcuterie board on a table, a cookie board, a cookie table from Pittsburgh. You know what that is at weddings. There are definitely events where, you know, there's gonna be food on a table. But to put 20 pounds of spaghetti noodles that is going to go cold and get really dried out. You know, noodles get dried out so quickly. All on the table, just all spread out, and then using your bare hands to move it around. So gross.
20 pounds of spaghetti. 20 pounds of sauce.
And then, okay, I forgot about this video. Honest, I haven't seen it in years. Cold spaghetti sauce. Did they not heat up? That's clearly they didn't, because they opened up a new jar. So you're putting 20 pounds of spaghetti that's going to get cold and sticky and dried out within 5 minutes probably, or less. And then you're going to go and open up cold jars of pasta sauce and dump that on it.
20 pounds of meatballs.
Bare hands putting all those meatballs out. Who knows how long those meatballs sat there.
47 breadsticks. 1 pound of parm. He loves it.
He loves it. I don't like, oh man, that is gross. And people got mad. I mean, again, it goes into just wasting food. And yeah, you can spend your money how you want. If you want to go waste your food, it's a lot of people out there who go hungry, you know. But essentially, though, that is why people get mad about this content, but then they keep going back for more. But the thing is, and we're going to talk about it in a little while, this isn't working anymore. This type of content, it's not getting the views that it used to get. People just, we get it. Like, you're rage baiting us. You're wasting. Nobody ate that. Nobody went in and nobody ate that cold pasta, the cold breadsticks, the dried out pasta, probably the dried out ice cold meatballs. Nobody ate that. It was really just for show to get people talking, and it worked. Here's another creator that definitely gets people mad, and I don't actually know the reason why. I don't think her name is Nora Smith, and all of her videos are her talking in a very calm, peaceful way. She makes things from scratch. Basically, she'll be like, I ran out of sunscreen, and so I decided to make my sunscreen from scratch instead of going to the Rite Aid and getting some sunscreen. And it just gets people fired up. Again, I don't really know why people get that mad about it. I think it's just, she is in a niche. She figured it out. But let's watch one of her videos where she makes bubblegum, which I didn't even know. I've never thought about doing that.
My sister's in town to visit, and she's been craving bubblegum so bad, but she ran out, so I just decided to make it for her. I poured some powdered sugar on some wax paper and created a well before combining my gum base with some corn syrup and slowly melting it down. Once that was all melted, I gave it a good stir and poured it into, and then they were ready to try. These tasted even better than store-bought gum, and she was so excited. The cinnamon vanilla ones tasted like a donut.
Yeah, like I said, Nora just makes everything from scratch, basically. She seems like she lives a pretty quiet life. I don't know why she gets a lot of hate. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't even know why she makes people mad. So what? She makes homemade bubble gum and sunscreen. It's just for video. It's just for show. You know, she's not actually doing that in real life. Whenever she needs something, she's going to the store and getting it. It's not a big deal, but she knows that this is a niche for her. This is like a little side of the internet where it's harming 0 people, and she's getting super rich off of it. So I don't blame her. I think this is an example to me of something that just does not bother anybody. So I don't know why people get mad about it. And then obviously we're going to be getting into some more maddening ones that involve parents and different things like that. But before we get into that, I couldn't make a video like this without talking about at least one person who goes and flaunts their wealth. Of course, you're gonna make people mad whenever you're bragging about being uber wealthy millionaire. This one says, worst things about being with a millionaire. Okay, so the first thing she says, she's scared about being robbed as she's holding her Louis Vuitton bag, and I don't know if that's Prada, another bag next to her, and then on her, there's a bag over there. It looks like a Louis Vuitton bag. So she's scared about being robbed while holding 3 massive bags that are so expensive. All women want my man. Trying to get me pregnant 24/7. And whenever I read the comments, that was the one thing people were like, this is the thing that causes me the most rage, is that he's trying to get you pregnant 24/7. I doubt that's actually the case. I mean, maybe, but I think this is just a way she knows it's going to get especially women fired up. Her husband trying to get her pregnant 24/7. People are going to think, oh, is it against your will? Like, do you not want this? And so she knows that's going to get people talking, and that's exactly what she wants. Always having to look 10 out of 10. Too much food, I'm too picky. It's too easy, and she knows it. If you even feed into that, I feel like it's more on you. If this type of thing bothers you, just keep scrolling. It's so innocent. And this woman, I don't know what her name is or what her husband's name is, but they know what they're doing. It's almost funny. Like, I'm sure if they get any sort of hate, I'm sure they get hate comments, and I'm sure whenever they do, they just laugh about it and probably their $1 million car. Okay, so let's get into some ones that are definitely going to be stirring up some emotions, making your blood pressure rise a little bit. Just a forewarning, because it definitely made a lot of other people mad, so I'm sure you're gonna feel the same way. So I didn't know who Mama Courtney, I think she also goes by Mama C, is on TikTok. But like I said, whenever I was looking up some of the worst rage baiters, her name kept getting brought up, and so I went and looked her up. Yeah, I get it. This woman should not have a platform whatsoever. She's disgusting. It says, every February 1st, I beat on my kids, record my daughter fighting the neighbor girl down the street as I'm yelling, beat that ass, with 2 Z's. I use my kids' disability checks for my acrylic nails and wig, and I don't make my kids go to school unless they want to. How does everyone else celebrate Black History Month? Yeah, told you guys this is gonna get you riled up. She knows what she's doing. It's total trash, like disgusting, and I don't even know how this video is still up. I never understand with TikTok what they'll allow to stay up and what they won't allow to stay up, but this is allowed to stay on the platform. But unfortunately, Mama C is on TikTok a lot. She posts, I think, multiple times a day from what I was seeing. This is another one of her rage bait. I assume is what, I don't know why else she would post this other than rage bait, but so she's saying that she gets $3.3 thousand in food stamps, $900 in cash, and Section 8 housing for a family of 8. I had 6 kids because of the welfare. How do they expect me to pay this all back, plus support myself without a job? So let's watch her. What she has to say.
I don't understand why I'm getting so much hate for being on welfare.
Also, people in the comments call her Methany, which, yeah, that made me laugh.
To have 6 kids with 4 different fathers and not be on welfare, what am I supposed to do? They expect me.
So she's saying, I don't know how they expect me to have 6 kids with 4 different fathers and not be on welfare.
To pay for my own daycare. They expect me to pay for my own food, my own diapers. They expect me to pay rent. I can't pay rent. I have 6 kids. I have to keep a roof over. I have to keep a roof over their head. No. I have been on welfare since I was 19 years old, when I was pregnant with my first child, who is now 15. I've written it all down to give you guys a clear picture, okay? Okay, so I receive 3,300 in EBT food stamps a month. Okay, that is just...
So, yikes. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I did not pause it on purpose there. But essentially she goes on to say, I think in this video or in another one that's a follow-up to this, that they were cutting her welfare checks because somebody I think who saw her TikToks reported her to the welfare office because she's driving around in a 2024, I believe BMW is what the car brand was. So a very expensive brand new car. And she's saying, so what that I have, a brand new car, I should still be able to get all this money in welfare. Again, total rage bait, total rage bait. She knows putting this out there, it's gonna get people mad. And this is how, again, she's making money. That was another thing too. Because she's making money on TikTok, she was getting her assistance cut. Because if you're making money, it doesn't matter if it's from TikTok or from working at a store or wherever, you're gonna get your assistance cut once you start having money come in. That's just how it works. It's not a flex to say you've been on welfare since you were 19 and 6 kids later. It's like you could not afford the first child, but then you continued having children. Okay, so I figured I would just go over to Courtney's TikTok just to give you guys an example of just one person who is using rage bait as a way to build their platform. She has 114,000 followers, so I doubt that really converts to a ton of money, but she's definitely making some of her assistance was starting to get cut because of it. She says she's a mama in the midst of chaos, mental health advocate, and a stay-at-home mom of 6 babes, because I don't think they're all babies. Like I think she has a 15-year-old, like she said, and she posts a lot. Like I'm trying to find one of the videos that I just talked about, and I'm scrolling back and I was like, I'm not seeing it. How far back is it? I had to scroll just to get there. She has made all of these videos just in the last day. So she lives on TikTok, lives on it, just to make whatever little pennies that she's making instead of going out and getting a job. So I wanted to go to the one that she just posted a day ago about the February 1st one and just read you some of the comments. This person said, I had to read this too many times to truly comprehend because I just can't believe what I read. Wow, shameful. Someone said, let's share this and get her the views that she wants, which essentially to hopefully get her canceled, but something tells me she's not going to get canceled because this is not the first time she's done something like this. The fact that the filter doesn't help. No comment, but racism much? Exactly. She's just a racist, disgusting pig, and there's nothing left to even say. So it seems like she just likes the attention. This has to be satire. No one would admit to this. And that's the thing. It's not satire. Yes, it's rage bait and she knows what she's doing, but this is how she feels. She's okay putting this out there. Again, there's different types of rage bait, but if you're okay putting something like this out there, it really sheds a lot of light on the type of person that you are, the kind of character that you have. Again, it's someone like her is just so disgusting, like in every way. And then on top of that, she's just continuing to do everything that she can in her power to make as much money off of government assistance as possible instead of going out there and getting a job. And yeah, she has kids. There's options. You can still make money. I know it can be hard, but there's really, in my opinion, I saw something, it was I think on her other post, but something saying like, government assistance isn't meant to be a permanent solution. It's just something to help you get by, especially if you are able to work, which she is. She has talked about, whenever I was doing my little bit of research on her, I've already spent way too much time thinking about someone as disgusting as her. Essentially just saying that, she has mental health problems and so she literally cannot get a job. It's like, lady, come on. Let's not use that as an excuse. You have the wherewithal, apparently, to be making so many videos a day that I had to scroll through 30 just to get to this video that was posted a day ago. So you have time on your hands. So if anything, you could at least get a work from home job. At least. Okay, so this is another creator that I had never heard of before, and essentially it's a mom who posts a lot of mother-daughter videos, but the whole account is essentially just rage bait, one rage bait video after another of the daughter, who I don't know her exact age, but I think she's under 10. She's definitely no older than 11, but I thought I read she's 7. So it's either the mom screaming at the daughter screaming at her, the daughter being really disrespectful to her parents. And there's so many of them. I feel like I could do an entire video about this because people say, oh, well, it's just satire. It's rage bait, but it's more than satire, because whenever you're getting your kid to partake in this kind of video, where's the line drawn? Something tells me this is how she acts all the time, and likely even at school. And that's a bold assumption I know to make, but let's just get to the video. You guys can make your own assumption about it.
That's your problem that it's starting to burn. Why in the hell would you buy that from Ulta? Why? I didn't tell you you could go to Ulta, and I damn sure didn't tell you guys to go to Crumble Cookie.
Okay,
And you think I'm supposed to feel bad for you because the thing is burning? Take it off!
No.
Why in the hell do you have it?
Nanya.
Amelia, it's not funny.
I'm trying to get rid of my pimples.
You don't have pimples. We've been through this 100 times. You don't have pimples. I spend so much money on stuff for pimples when you don't even have them yet.
Yeah.
Why does she keep saying okay and?
Okay, and I don't know. Ask her.
Am I on like another fucking planet here? Do you not give a shit at all? She went to Crumble Cookie. She went to Ulta. She thinks it's a fucking joke.
I feel like you got off cheap.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, just total chaos. And there's so many videos where, like I said, they're screaming at each other. The daughter's being so disrespectful. The mom's being disrespectful to the daughter. They get the views because, again, rage bait works. It's clear they live in total chaos and just such a horrible environment for a kid to grow up in. Even if it is satire, it just seems like a really toxic environment for a kid, because she's still hearing all of that language and all the screaming from the mom, whether it's a joke or not. And if the mom's that comfortable screaming at her kid like that, something tells me that it's not satire. Something tells me that's how their daily life really is. Maybe they amp it up for the camera. Quite frankly, they both seemed a little bit too comfortable in the video, and the dad also. And that was how I was seeing it with all their videos. So people in the comments and where I was reading it were really stirred up too. And a lot of people are thinking, like, is it satire? Is it not? I actually don't know for sure. Some people were saying that it was, but there's no real confirmation because the mom plays off of this. Like, would you really want that to be what people know you for? How embarrassing, how disgusting. How do you even show your face at the kid's school? No other parents probably want your kid going to their house because that's out there and they don't want that around their kid. Okay, so last but not least, I wanted to talk about Bonnie Blue. She's an OnlyFans creator, and she had to figure out a way to make herself stand out in a sea of other OnlyFans creators. She just looks like your average, she's pretty, but your average person. Like, what's gonna make her stand out from the thousands of other content creators on OnlyFans? And she's done that by sleeping with schoolies and married men. And if you don't know what schoolies are, I didn't either, but in Australia, whenever the kids, and I say kids because they're kids, they graduate from high school, they go off on a trip for a week and just celebrate, basically. And so Bonnie likes to make videos calling what she says, barely legal 18-year-olds to film with her, and she's almost 26. She'll be 26 in May. And she does a ton of videos with these 18-year-old boys where they basically, I haven't seen the videos, but I've seen her make TikToks. They get 2 minutes with her and she goes through them, literally. And then she also likes to talk about how, she loves to sleep with married men, because if you're not sleeping with your husband, then it's okay for her. That's where it's justified. Again, she knows she's gonna make people upset, but that's her niche. Her niche is sleeping with barely legal, that's her words, barely legal boys and married men. So let's watch this video. It's her and another, I don't know the woman's name, but I think she does OnlyFans with Bonnie sometimes.
Okay, Karen, so you thought I wasn't going to be bonking your sons, but I'm going to be doing exactly that this week, aren't we?
We have big plans for your sons, don't you worry.
Yeah, people get mad about this, and rightfully so. I mean, imagine it was a almost 26-year-old man and he was going to high school. It's basically like one big party for a week for high school graduates, going to a high school party, preying on barely legal 18-year-old women. Yes, they're adults, but they just graduated high school and I'm sure that's her thing. She doesn't want them to have any experience. She wants to be their first experience, and she looks at it as like a learning opportunity. I watched it. I want to do a whole entire video on Bonnie because there's so much to be said about her, and it doesn't come down to shaming, in my opinion, with this situation, because it's not just that you can think whatever you want about OnlyFans. You can think it's okay, you can think it's not okay. That's not really what it's about. It's someone like Bonnie who has to go and up it, you know? She's the one who slept with 1,000 men in 1,020 men in one day, or 12 hours maybe. So I know it doesn't sound believable, but that's what she did. So she always has to go and up it. Like, how can I get more attention? How can I stand out? How, you know, it's money, 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 money. And whenever your whole thing, your whole personality is trying to get these boys who just got their high school diploma to be in an OnlyFans video with you, that's gross. Like I said, put your opinions about OnlyFans aside. What she's doing is gross, and it's causing people to get really mad. And it's also causing her and this other woman to get I believe they're getting rejected. They're not even allowed to go into certain countries because they'll make these videos leading up, be like, we're coming to your country, we want all the schoolies. And so they'll get denied going into the country. I think Bonnie got denied going into Australia, which is insane. So my final takeaway with this whole thing with rage bait is, yeah, rage bait might get you some clicks. It's going to for sure get you some clicks. But it's basically the junk food of online content. It's cheap, it's addictive, it's bad for you. In the long run, as a creator, is what I mean, not as the viewer, but as a creator, doing rage bait is bad for you in the long run because, yeah, it's gonna get people talking, it's gonna get the engagement, but you're going to lose your accountability factor. You're going to lose the trust of your audience. It's like whenever people were doing clickbait for years and years and years, and then we realized it was all lies, you know, and we got sick of it. We're like, yeah, this is obviously clickbait. We're not even gonna watch it. And so you saw views going down. Someone would be like, gave birth next to a shark attack, and then they were just in the hospital watching Jaws. I completely made that up, but you know that's something that somebody would do a few years ago. And maybe some people still would. Some people still like to use clickbait, but it just doesn't work anymore like how it used to. But what rage bait does is it turns the audience against you. It gets people mad, and it's all, like I said, it's gonna turn people away who actually did like your content, who wants to have like a meaningful discussion on your channel with comments and things like that. They're not going to want to because all you're doing is rage baiting. It's such a short-term thing to get the money, to get the clicks, to get the views. But someone like Mama C, not going to work for in the long run. But as far as the viewer goes, as far as the audience goes, does it really matter? What do you guys think? I don't think, for the most part. I know for some of those things I was getting stirred up, but it's a commentary channel. It's what I do, giving you guys some of my own real opinions on things. But in general, I think it doesn't really matter that much. I think if something bothers you, just keep on scrolling, because if you go and you leave a comment, even if it's a really mean, nasty comment, or you thumbs down something, it does not matter. It still counts as engagement. YouTube, I'll talk about YouTube specifically because that's what I know best. YouTube does not care if someone leaves a really horrible, mean, disgusting comment or a really nice, positive comment. They don't care if you leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. All YouTube, the algorithm looks at it as is somebody interacting with your video, interacting with your channel, and so they push out the video to more people, which is a good thing for the creator. It means more money, it means more views, all the things. That's what the creator wants. More than anything is for you to engage with their video. And if they have a thick skin, they don't care what you're saying. Any type of real issue I'd have with rage bait is if somebody's gonna go and exploit a tragedy for their own personal gain, that can be considered rage bait. I don't like that. If that tragedy didn't actually affect them. Also, the whole whenever somebody puts out misinformation, yes, it should be up to the viewer to figure out for themselves whether that's true or not, but we know that doesn't always happen. A lot of times the kids are young teenagers on the platform and they're just gonna take things for face value. They shouldn't do that, I know, but why make it worse? We know they're going to, so why make it worse? Why put that misinformation in their head in the first place? Just for views, just for clicks, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And obviously any type of rage bait that's just cruel to somebody else or a certain demographic of people, whether that be somebody with a disability, somebody of a different race, all of those type of things, I do have problems with those type of videos. But in general, the rest of the clickbait, if I see it, I just keep on scrolling. It's not really worth even getting mad about because it doesn't affect me. And basically what I just said, the best thing you can do is just keep on scrolling. But thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you're still here and want to stick around for more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed. And I will see you guys in my next video.